How do women that are recovering from alcohol and drug addiction develop and sustain a healthy and sober lifestyle? Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is the Secretary of the Board of Directors for the Ann Arbor Women's Group, Gigi Langer. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here.
How big of an issue is alcohol and drug abuse with women especially, and how would someone know if they were perhaps in need of help? I don't know how fine of a line it is. You have some personal experience with this and certainly can speak firsthand.
I can. I am a person in recovery, and I have, that means I've gone 27 years in my case without a drug or drink. And my life has become incredibly wonderful because of that. And I wanted to say, even though occasionally we're going to refer to Alcoholics Anonymous today, I'm in no way a representative of that. It's just the way I got sober, and it helped me. So it's what worked for me, but not necessarily for everyone.
What would some of the signs, symptoms that perhaps someone would recognize in themselves, or you might recognize in someone else, that they do need to seek an Alcoholics Anonymous or some type of similar program?
Well, it's interesting for me. When I drank, I did things I would never do when I was sober. And the next morning I'd think about them, and it really grossed me out. And that was, you finally got my attention. But another way is that you promise yourself you're not going to drink on a particular occasion, and you do anyway, and more than you wanted. Another is maybe your friends are or family have expressed some concern. But the best way to know if you have a drinking problem is to try what they call controlled drinking, which means that my psychologist suggested to me, go and have only 2 drinks, no more, no less, and watch yourself for a period of weeks, months. And I noticed that I couldn't predict when I would have more than 1, 2, 3, sometimes very little, sometimes more, and I most of all couldn't predict what I would do.
So if those signs or symptoms are in perhaps yourself or a loved one or someone that you know, seeking help is as easy as a phone call, correct?
Sure.
Calling or looking up on the internet if you have access, Alcoholics Anonymous, or any type of a support and recovery group. Now, support and recovery comes after you get sober. Once you are sober, that's kind of where the Ann Arbor Women's Group comes in. What do you guys do, and why is it so important that you do what you do?
Well, when women first get sober, they needed a whole new set of friends, because their old friends might be their drinking buddies who aren't going to be so crazy about them necessarily once they quit joining their friends in drinking. Or they might be very dependent on a man's love, and the man really loves who they are when they're high, and all of a sudden the game changes. Or you might be an isolating kind of drinker who's just at home trying not to get a DUI, So really, you come in and you don't have a lot of female friends who are healthy. And most times we've had a lot of male friends because we know how to appeal to men.
So very quickly, you bring women together to do fun things and to support one another after they've recovered.
Right. We have monthly events where we might go to the theater or a movie, just so you can learn that you can have fun sober. We also have retreats where you can learn a lot about staying sober and get more support from friends.
Wonderful, wonderful idea. Certainly it makes sense. New friends when you're in recovery to stay that way. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
For more information on today's topic, you can visit aa-semi.org. Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Gigi Langer, the Secretary of the Board of Directors for the Ann Arbor Women's Group. See how fast?